Hi everyone, this is Aisha.
And I'm Sophie.
Welcome to the Mankind Kitchen. Today we're really excited because we are going to make an amazing chickpea omelet.
Yeah, this is more than chickpea omelet. It's a revolution. It's absolutely delicious. And when you want a big, hearty breakfast, this is the way to go.
So chickpea omelet is unique because it's made out of chickpea flour. And this is the version that we get from the grocery store. Chickpea or garbanzo beans, they're synonymous, is an amazing source of fiber. And when you check out the ingredient, the nutrition facts, 1/4 cup has
7 grams of protein.
Which is incredible. And in this recipe, we're going to use 1 cup of garbanzo flour, which serves 2 individuals, 2 servings. So that means you, just from the batter only, get 14 grams of amazing clean protein. And obviously, along with that fiber and protein, you get a lot of potassium and iron and calcium and vitamin D. So it's safe to say that this is probably one of the healthiest breakfast items in our household, and we can't wait to share it with you.
Yes.
The first thing we're going to do is to make the batter. We're going to get a bowl and we're going to measure a cup of the garbanzo flour. So here we go. And we got it from the grocery store.
No, actually we got it from the aisle of garbanzo.
The aisles of garbanzo.
Yes, the great aisles of garbanzo.
Okay. This is a very dense flour. So you basically want to make sure that you put things into it that makes it light and fluffy and airy, just like, an egg omelet. So we are going to add 1/2 teaspoon of baking powder.
Not baking soda, baking powder.
That's true.
Yeah. One time I did a little mix up and it was really, really gross.
And then we're going to add 1/2 teaspoon of paprika. Paprika gives it a little smokiness that I absolutely love. And then turmeric. You don't have to put turmeric in paprika, but we do it because this is an amazing opportunity to add spices to your food. Why? Because?
Well, not only are they healthy, but they also add taste. And it's amazing. It really encourages me.
Absolutely. This is garlic powder. We're going to add a little bit of garlic powder.
I add garlic powder to everything. Honestly, it's amazing. Yeah.
It really is. And don't forget to put a little bit of salt because that kind of gives it, it just brings out the spices and the taste. A little bit of black pepper. Okay. We're going to put at least 2 tablespoons of nutritional yeast.
Yeah. If you remember from the last video we made, nutritional yeast adds a little bit of a cheesy flavor, which is really, really good.
Now we're going to mix it, please.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
Okay, so we're going to mix the dry ingredients, and I have, 1.5 cups of water, and we're just going to add a cup of it right now to make it a relatively thin batter. You don't want it to be too thick. I'm going to add a cup of water. So you keep mixing it up, okay? And be a little fast because you don't want clumps to form. Okay, that looks pretty good.
Now watch me. I'm sorry. I was gonna do the whipped nene. I changed my mind. Yeah.
Sophie, thank you very much.
Thank you.
That looks very good. And as you can tell, there are no clumps in it, and it's pretty thin. It actually thickens up a little bit, and we want it to be this consistency, like pancake batter, because later on we're going to put a lot of herbs in it. So we'll let this rest. Now we're going to prepare our vegetables.
Okay.
Okay, for the vegetables we have our herbs. We have some chives. Chop it into small little pieces.
This part looks pretty satisfying.
Now we have, a little over a cup of Italian parsley that will go into that batter. So I will go ahead and chop this. So the idea is to really, really chop it finely, like so. You don't want big, giant parsley leaves in your omelet. And when you chop it this fine, the flavors infuse in the batter. Look how beautiful that is, huh?
Wow. That sounds really satisfying. I think we're bringing ASMR back just with this. All right, now I'm gonna put all of these herbs into the batter.
Beautiful.
Yeah. It's a lot of herbs.
Yeah, that's a lot of herbs, but you'll see what a big difference it'll make when it comes to flavor. At this stage, we're going to add about a teaspoon of apple cider vinegar as well. The apple cider vinegar works with the baking powder to give it that airiness and lightness. So I added 1 teaspoon of apple cider vinegar. Basically, this batter is an amazing vehicle for herbs and spices, which you've heard us say so many times that, you know, for pound, it is one of the most potent anti-inflammatory foods ever. We're going to let this sit for another few minutes while we are preparing the rest of the vegetables. So I'll do most of the cutting while Sophie will describe.
Yes.
All right, so we have our onion.
An onion. It's a red onion. It's very red.
This is an onion.
Yes. I'm doing very important work here.
Okay, go on.
She's cutting it in half. And oh, it's white inside. Huh. You wouldn't expect that. Yeah.
We're going to add red onions because it adds some color.
Yes.
And just love the flavor of onions. So for this recipe, we only need about, you know, half a red onion.
I'm not crying. You're crying.
You know, go against those slices like this, and very sharp cuts like that. That way you're actually going to get small little pieces. Now we're going to chop some mushrooms. Mushrooms are amazing, as you know. They're incredible food, very healthy, packed with anti-inflammatories. It's amazing for building your immune system. It has protein in it. Some people don't like it too much.
It's the idea of eating a fungus. I mean, that's disgusting, honestly. It's just gross.
But some people are also trying to like mushrooms because it's an important food. I love mushroom in omelets, and we're just going to roughly chop it. Try to keep some texture in there and don't overcook them when you put them in the pan. And we will also chop some cherry tomatoes.
Yes, this is my job.
Okay.
Just getting my daily dose of lectins here.
I love my lectins.
Yes.
Beautiful. Okay, so now we're going to cook our vegetables. So we're going to start with a little bit of avocado oil. You can totally skip the oil if you want to and add a little bit of water or broth. But I always like sauteing my garlic in a little bit of olive oil or avocado oil. All right, so the pan is on high and I can already smell the
That smells really
amazing.
good.
So we're going to saute our garlic for a few seconds to bring out the aroma and make sure not burn it, because there's nothing worse than burnt garlic. And to that, we're going to add our onions.
This smells really, really good. Wow.
Now we're just going to let that sweat.
It's a rogue chive in there too.
A rogue chive right there.
Rogue chive,
Right
yeah.
there. And a rogue mushroom.
What are you doing there?
Ooh, it smells good, huh?
I know, it really smells good.
All right, we're gonna add our mushrooms now. Look at all that vegetable. Imagine eating all these vegetables for breakfast. What a beautiful
Really
beginning
good,
to the day, huh?
Yeah, definitely.
And to this, we're going to add some tomatoes and spinach. It's gonna be a really colorful filling.
Yeah.
I'm going to add a little bit of salt and pepper to allow for the mushroom to get some of its moisture out and flavor it a little bit. I'm just showing you off here.
Yeah. You don't actually need to do this. This is optional.
Now, do me the honors of adding the tomatoes in there. Good. Looking good.
Really good.
Okay, so now we're gonna let it rest. Just spread it out. Or maybe just shake your pan a little bit. There you go. That's good. You just want a little bit of a char on the tomatoes, that's all. See right here? This is what we want. We want a little soft and charred. Looking good. So now we're going to add some greens. We chose some spinach. This is about 1.5 cups of spinach. Obviously, any chance you get, add some greens. And we're not going to cook it too much. We're just going to let it mix with everything. The heat of the pan and the tomatoes is going to wilt the spinach, and that's all we want. How beautiful it looks, huh? So that's our omelet filling. Great. Done. So I emptied the content here in this bowl, and all I'm doing is just wiping it off clean. And you have a clean pan. We'll put it back on high heat. Again, I'm going to use some avocado oil just to spray the pan and make sure that the batter doesn't stick at all. I'm going to wait a little bit to make sure that it's hot, and then I'm going to pour the batter.
Now we're gonna pour the batter into the pan.
And we're going to pour half of it, half of the batter we made, to make one omelet.
Yes.
And I'm just going to spread it around a little bit.
Or if you have a really large pan and feel daring enough, you can just pour it all and make the world's largest omelet.
Now we're going to let it just sit there. You have to be very patient. You see the bubbles coming up on top. That's actually a good sign. Don't touch it. Just examine its beauty and be patient for at least a minute. Okay, I'm going to test it a little bit to see how it's doing. As you can see, it's actually already gliding in the pan. That's a good sign. That means it's ready to be flipped. Now, you gotta be very careful. You don't want it to cook too much on the other side. You don't want it to burn, but I think it's still a little early. I'm waiting for the edges to cook before I flip it. Okay. So this requires a little bit of practice. Don't be scared. Be brave. And
we'll get through this together. Yeah.
Ready, set, go. Ta-da! That's the amount of color you want. You don't want it more than that. And be sure to cook both sides before you put your vegetables in. So what I'll do is I'll take half of the filling and put it on top, like so. Looking good, huh?
Yes,
okay.
Definitely.
Now what we do is we gently flip one side, like so. You want to make sure that it's cooked on both sides. Tuck any vegetable coming out back inside. And I think it's ready. This looks good, guys. So we are going to serve this now. So this is ready. It looks beautiful, and you can add some hot sauce. We actually have some herbed hummus here. It's basically just, hummus with cilantro, dill, and lemon, and I'm just going to put a dollop of that right here next to it. We made an open-faced omelet with the vegetables on it, and then over here we basically flipped it into half. So I'll add a dollop of that here, and I also made a small arugula salad with some radishes to go on top of that. Excuse the hands. I always like mixing my salad with my hands. It just tastes so much better because it mixes better. So I'm just going to put some of that here. I love arugula salad. And then maybe we can put a little bit over here. What do you say, Sophie?
Yes.
With some radishes.
I love arugula. It has a really good aftertaste.
Absolutely.
It's my favorite green.
Okay, are you ready? Shall we taste this? Which one do you want to taste, Sophie?
I want to taste this one.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, let's switch. Go ahead. Well, maybe we can actually taste both of it together. Or you go from that side and I'll go from this one side. All right. Ready? Set. All right. Go. Okay. So this is what it looks like. The inside batter. It's full of herbs. It's very fluffy. It tastes amazing. It's fluffy. It's very soft. It's flavorful. You get... I can't talk. My goodness, it goes so well with all of the vegetables.
It's like jujitsu. You take something unhealthy like an egg omelet and then turn it into this, something tasty, easy to healthy. It's amazing.
You guys, you have to try to make this. This is an amazing breakfast. I think it can be an amazing lunch or dinner too. You get an immense amount of protein in the chickpea batter, in the mushrooms. You get all of your greens. You get an amazing amount of herbs and spices. And kids love it, adults love it, dogs love it too. My Obi loves the smell. So please make it. Let us know how you like it. Follow us on our social media at Team Sherzai. Give us a thumbs up if you like this and subscribe to the Team Sherzai channel. And as always, we are so happy to bring you to our Mind Kind Kitchen. And with that, we'll see you next time with another recipe.
Right, thank you.
Thanks for joining us.